Hello there, this is the Digital Lost. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Rowin Twin Looper. So I'd been looking at getting a looper for a while now. I did have a looper for a while, and it was a very good quality looper. Very highly regarded, people love it. It was the Digitech Jamman Solo XT, little blue stump box guy. And again, as I say, like very highly regarded. I just didn't like it. A few personal reasons, but there was one just completely unforgivable reason, and I know this wasn't just me. It seems to be like a 50-50 split if you read forums online. The unforgivable part of that looper was a click every time you hit the loop switch. And again, I know it's not just me, and I did try it with different instruments. I tried it in different sockets. I even tried it in different houses. Always there was just this click every time you hit it to start a loop. Other reasons I didn't like that looper: very stiff switch to hit. I mean, I could have replaced the spring, but it was really glued in there tight, and by the time I'd started thinking about replacing the spring, I'd already kind of decided I was going to be getting rid of that looper. I did get it cheap, which I was kind of happy about. It was one of those open box deals where it was clearly a brand new item, but you know, they sold it as an open box cost. Great. Other reasons I wasn't a fan of that looper were, and this is completely me because it's a completely avoidable feature. It had the built-in drum rhythms. There was a dial, you could turn it up, and had just set drum patterns. Okay, great, that might be helpful to some people. It wasn't helpful to me, and I could always just keep that volume down and I wouldn't even notice it. I didn't like that you couldn't delete that off the first 10 or 20 loops that had already been there. Again, volume down, rhythm track is gone. Great. But just knowing it was there the whole time was driving me nuts. And again, I know that's me. To the point where, you know, if you've listened to any of the music I have on this channel, and I hope you do, you'll know that I don't really use, well, certainly not traditional percussion, and certainly not built-in weird drum loops. So I would record a loop and it would be all sort of, you know, wishy-washy, atmospheric, ambient, blah, 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 the kind of thing I do, ignoring the little tick that I could hear, and just knowing in the background somewhere, even though I couldn't hear it, there was it was just ludicrous, to the point where one time I was using it and looping it, and just for a laugh, I turned up the rhythm and it was all, yeah, again, wishy-washy, ambient, whatever, and all of a sudden, and yeah, it was just too ludicrous. I put it away back in the box for a while. I mean, I'm talking like 2 years. Then I pulled it out, complete factory reset, current firmware. Sure enough, there was still that tick, and that drove me nuts. So I traded it in at the local music shop. Great, not a problem. So I was still looking at getting a new looper. And the way I buy things, because I don't have a ton of money, and which is why, again, if you've watched any of my other videos, I usually show the equipment I've got. And, you know, it's kind of budget stuff. That's fine. It's sort of helped to shape my sound. And I know kind of what I'm dealing with then. But when I do buy things, it's either one of two ways. It's either completely impulsive, like bang, just get it now, great. Or I spend like months reading and researching this, like nothing in between. So the first looper purchase was, oh wow, this is cheap, great, I'm just gonna get that. Good reviews, that'll work. Wasn't happy with it. So this time I spent literally a few months reading about goddamn loopers. And of course I looked at all the common ones, you know, your Boss loopers, your Electro Harmonics. I mean, most pedal companies from the top all the way down to, you know, the really cheap Chinese ones that are everywhere now, make a looper of some kind. Even if it's integrated as part of another pedal, you know, great. But I did want a dedicated looper. I came really close to two, both Electro Harmonics. There was like the 720 looper, and there was what, the 22500, which is a far more advanced dual channel, I believe, which was really appealing. You could save loops. The 22500 though apparently also has that fucking rhythm thing with in the background, and again, I know that's me and it's all in my head, but I just can't deal with that knowing that's there. And you know, if something on paper is great and you can also change features, turn them off, on, tone them down, hey, great. But if you're not happy with the equipment you have, especially when you're doing something creative, it's just not going to work for you. You're going to resent it, you'll never use it, and hey, that's not good. So I was really close to the 720. Far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I don't think that has the built-in rhythms. So I was going to pull the trigger on that one, and then I came across, I think it was the Rowin Twin Looper, just online. So I was reading about that, and it sort of had some interesting features. Mostly, I liked the idea of speed control, which this one had. It wasn't a twin looper as the name might suggest. It's more referring to the switches. But that's fine. It couldn't store loops. Well, not really, not any more than the one you've just done. Well, that's fine because we're talking, you know, like $70, $80. But it looked good. And then a little bit of further probing came up the Rowin Twin Looper, which is the exact same looper, like exactly the same except for the name, which you find with a lot of these Chinese company pedals that are everywhere now. Hey, great, you know, so I went with the Rowin because it ended up being about $15 cheaper, just the list price plus a coupon that was available at the time of purchase. So yeah, I went ahead and got it, and I'm really glad I did. We'll be looking at a video of it running very soon. I'll stop waffling in a minute. But it has almost all the features that I really wanted. It's solid. It's, despite its price, yeah, it's well built. It doesn't have a click when you hit that loop button, which, hey, you know, we're already winning. The switches are a click switch, but it's a very soft one. It's almost it's not quite as soft as the TC Electronics, like soft touch switches, but yeah, it's a very, very minimal when you hit it, but it doesn't record that sound as interference or as resonance within the pedal. So great. It does have a speed control switch, which, hey, awesome. It is a stepped switch, which again we'll be looking at, rather than smooth, but I imagine a smooth slowdown, which, bear in mind as well, it does the pitch and the speed. So it's not just like lowering the pitch or the speed and keeping the same pitch or speed. It does do both. So it is really like you're slowing down a tape. Yeah, think a tape with speed control, or even, you know, back in the olden days when your batteries and your Walkman were dying. That was always fun. So it slows down speed and pitch, and it is stepped, but again, I imagine a smooth control would be quite difficult, especially at like that price. And it also has reverse, which I've kind of fallen in love with. And again, we'll be looking at the sounds in a second, but recording a loop, adjusting the volume as you go into the loop, slowing it right down, hitting reverse, gives you these really beautiful ambient swells. And yeah, I'm a little bit in love with it. So I think that's enough talking for now. Let's have a listen. So, am I happy with my purchase? Absolutely, I'm a little bit in love with this. I know you can get a lot fancier, i.e. more expensive, and fancier I guess, but for what I do, yeah, it's weirdly perfect. The only negative, and I can't complain too much at the price, is the ability to store more than the loop that you've just recorded. It's that beautiful tape-like slowdown and reverse that is just sweet. Yeah, I'm really quite surprised. Pleasantly, too. But yeah, the Rowin Twin Looper. Very happy. But again, your mileage may vary. So, hey, you know, do your research, like I did. Well, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go right ahead below. I'd be happy to help. While you're here, maybe check out some of my other videos. I have plenty of music and a lot more to come. If you're enjoying what you're hearing and seeing, please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps and it's really appreciated. Thanks again for stopping by. See you next time.